So if you want to see how to build a bow like this, watch the video. So right here is the piece of red oak that I picked at the lumberyard, and I'll give you a detailed, show you closer the grains and everything and why I chose this piece. I went ahead and laid it out. The length is 72 inches long, and I want a 68-inch bow. And since it's only, I think it's 3/4 of an inch wide, yeah, it's 3/4 of an inch wide, I want to build up the handle. And the way I do my handles is they're 4-inch handles. So it just so happens that there's 4 inches that I'm going to cut off, and I'll just glue this on, and then I can shape, when I shape the bow out. So that'll build up the handle. So all this is going to be put to use other than what's being trimmed off. Yeah, I built quite a few bows out of boards. And one thing that's really nice is that they're already dry. And if you can get a good, one with good grains and everything and how it's cut, you can make a really good bow, So, yeah, and it's just me having fun. And so I'm just going to share. So if you wanted to build a bow and you don't have any staves or any wood, by the time you get done watching this video, you'll know what to look for and in grains and stuff, or have a pretty good idea, and then you can go and purchase one. I think this was 20 bucks at your local lumberyard, and start building a bow just to have fun. The reason why I picked this piece of wood out of all the other options was because of how it was cut. And if you look at the end of this, the grains go like this way. It's called crosscut. And when this was a full piece of wood, this was actually how it was cut out. The grains going that way. Another important aspect is these grains. I try to get these grains to run all the way along the length of the bow. So, which is going to add strength. And if they only go to a certain point and they run off, it's going to create a weak point. But if I can get at least 3 of them that run all the way down the bow, then odds are likely I'll be more successful if I'm careful with my tillering and everything. So I'm going to cut the excess off. It's going to be a 68-inch length bow. I'm going to cut this excess 4 inches off because the overall length is 72 inches, and I'm going to go ahead and glue it and let it set, and then I'll start shaping this bow out. So now I'm going to lay out the bow. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the center of this board. 1.25 inches is the center. So I'm just going to make a mark all the way down. Alrighty. And then take my T-square or whatever you have that's straight, and try not to have it move. Alright, so I need to also add too that this is going to be an unbacked bow, so the tillering has to be right on the money. Alright, next I'm going to lay out the handle. I like a 1-inch handle personally. So now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and make this handle, and how you can do it however you want. And then I'm going to take just a circular type thing. I just chose this. And so it's going to be wider than 1 inch at the center. And I'm just going to make a mark like that on both sides. Put this on the 1 inch mark. So I guess that will work. And this will be more refined with when I lay this all out. When I go to cut it out and sand it and file it and draw knife it, it's going to be more refined. So this is just basically rough. And so next I'm going to do the fade outs, and I want the fades to the where the limbs start, and I'm going to go with 1 inch fades, because since this is unbacked, I want it to be, I want to keep the limbs as wide as I can. So go ahead and make a mark. I want to keep these limbs as wide as what I can, so I want to make them 2 inches above the handle and below the handle. So I'm just simply going to make a mark, 1 inch on each side, and then I'm just going to see if this will work. Yeah, that'll work. And I'm going to lay this out, so just like that. And like I say, this is just roughing it in. So I have my marks right here. I want 2 inches wide. I think the tips, I want to make the tips at least 1 inch. So I'm just simply going to, from the center line, come down here and go half on each side. I'm going to take my handy dandy straight edge and just line it up with the 2 inch mark here, and then the 1 inch mark right here, and then make a line. There is the bow dimensions. It's laid out. I probably should have went a little bit thinner on the tips. Yeah, I think I will. So this is the knot that I'm talking about right here, and I tried to obviously avoid that. But on the other side, you can see it's there, but hopefully I'm able to avoid that, and that doesn't create a problem. And that problem would be the bow snapping in half. So, but that's part of the game, you know. So I'm going to grab this camera, and I'm just going to slowly show you the layout. So yeah, so this is where I was talking about. I didn't want the handles to be too thin, because there's going to be pressure here, but it's going to be, the handle's going to give a little bit too, so flex a little bit, I should say. And like I said, the tips are there's a little bit of a flaw right here. So yeah, I'm gonna take it over to the bandsaw and trim it out. So with this board bow, I'm going to go ahead and use my bandsaw to trim it out. As far as like tillering, I'll use hand tools. I don't like to use the bandsaw for tillering, because it's so easy to just to rough the taper down. It's so easy to make a mistake if you have the board twisted a little bit. You take off too much on one side, and then you just destroy the stave. But as far as like, normally I don't use bandsaws very often for making bows, because if it's a stave like this U stave, which I'll turn into a bow eventually, I use all hand tools to shape it out and to tiller it out, or to taper the edges down. It just helps you go slow. But for these board bows, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, trim trim it out on the bandsaw, and it'll save some time. And I have a bandsaw, so why not use it? To start sanding these rough edges down, try to even them out. I'm going to be using a farrier's rasp. So I just finished sanding down the sides of the limbs and the top a little bit, and I rounded the top off a little bit. Now I'm ready to shape this handle, and I'm going to use as many tools that I can to my advantage. The farrier's rasp, just a hand rasp, and a round file, and I even have this kind of a farrier's rasp and a round file. I'm not sure what you call it. But anyway, here we go. I'm going to get shaping this. So I got this to sanded and floor tillered pretty good. I took down the handle a little bit more. now it's time to put a string on there and start tillering it. I will say that when I was floor tillering this, I heard a little bit of a crack, just kind of like a little pop, but I don't know. I'm hoping that it holds together. It's been a lot of work, but I certainly enjoy building bows, so I guess it's not really work then. So I'll get the string on there and we'll start tillering it. So I put a string on it and I'm getting ready to start working it, but when I was putting that long string on there, I heard a little bit of a pop, but I looked at the bow and I didn't see anything obvious, so I'm just going to keep going and just hope for the best. So the tillering looks pretty good so far for just basically floor tillering. So we'll see. I'll give you an example. It looks pretty good so far. So I'll take it down, and I think I'm going to take a little bit more off right here. The handle's kind of stiff. I want the handle to work too. The handle's got to work. So anyway, here we go. So far I have a string on it. I got it to about 3-inch brace height, and it hasn't snapped yet. So I'm just going to work the wood slowly, bring down, start doing the tiller even more. So far it's going good. So hopefully it holds together. So sad news for the bow. It broke on the tillering machine. I got it to brace height, and my draw length is 24 inches, and I got it to 23 inch, and it snapped. And I should have listened to my intuition. I normally don't build the handles up like that, especially on a board bow. So it's the way it goes. But the cool thing is there's more boards. So I went down and picked up another board, and I'm going to turn it into a bow. But I'm not going to film the whole process I'm only going to start filming once I get it to brace height and doing the finishing tillering. So but yeah, so on the new bow that I build, I'm not going to build up the handle like this. I'm just going to leave it alone, just let it be what it is. And because I'm positive that that's the reason why this broke. So like I said, I'm not going to film until I get the new one all sanded out, and I'm just doing the final tillering. So I'm getting ready to take this to full brace height. I got it pretty much tillered out, I think. And so far it's holding in. I'll give you an example. So show you, and we'll be shooting this before too long. So, fingers crossed. So here's the bow. I'm going to go ahead and take some shots. I'm a little, just got done tillering it, and so I'm a little gun shy to take it to all the way to full draw. But I don't know, it seems to be shooting all right.